Hi, Dr. Paul. I wanted to talk a bit about the myths and the misconception and myths about this area of medicine. In my first book, I believe it's my first book, one of the first three books, I have a chapter in there called Myths and Misperceptions, and I think I list about 10 different ones out that are commonplace. I don't remember all of them right now. I don't have the book in front of me, but basically a lot of the myths have to do with misconceptions have to do with just not understanding the subject and thinking so many people think they understand this subject, that it's taken me a long time to understand, and they think they understand, they really don't. Or they may understand, they understand how they feel, but they don't understand the area of medicine, and they don't, and so a lot of the myths, one of the myths is just, it's not a real area of medicine. It's not real. It's not real because it's just your thinking. And if you just improve your thinking, if you just get the right therapy, well, that can help. I mean, and sometimes therapy is enough when you don't need medication. That can happen. But one of the myths is that it's not a real. Well, it's very real. And if you believe you have a brain, and if you kind of start to understand how the brain works, which is what we do in science and being doctors, we kind of learn how things work. And I have a special interest in the brain. I learned, being a family doctor originally for a decade, I learned about the whole body, all the organs, all the everything, and how to be a primary care doctor. And I liked it. I liked doing that. I really did. But the brain to me just was a special fascination. It was just a mysterious organ that you can't figure out as easily because we don't have the blood tests. We don't have the scans. Oh yeah, but you can scan the brain, but you can't get to any answers by scanning the brain. There's specialized SPECT scans. I won't get into that, but there are other expensive specialized kind of testing that you can get. But do you have to go through all that? Not in my opinion, no. I can figure it out without that big expensive thousands of dollars scan. I can figure it out by what I do. But yeah, there's a lot of that's not real. It's just a weakness. It's a weakness in your character. If you were just a stronger person, you could deal with it. You're just not exercising enough. Okay, well, exercise more. That's good for you. We know that. We all know that. It's just you're just sad. You just got to pull yourself out of it already. Just stop. Just get out of it. Come on. Let's just. So a lot of people don't understand the person. Well, why are the person like that? They're fine. I don't understand. I mean, so other people don't understand. Well, what do you think the person feels? Maybe the person doesn't understand. I don't know. They don't know how they feel either. They don't get why they feel that way. They don't want to feel that way. They just don't know how to get out of it. And if they listen to friends and family who don't understand it and have a negative view of it, then they adopt that view, and then they don't seek help, because then they don't want to. Again, I've had patients come in, and I had a guy come in and says, and he came to see me. I see another family member. He said to me, "Can you please not let my parents know that I've come in?" There's a guy's he's more than 18. He's like, I'm not going to break confidence anyway. I said, no, I wouldn't. This is all confidential here. I don't share anything unless you want me to share things. I don't share anything that's personal between you and me. But there's a lot of people say I'm saying that because if they found out I'm doing this, they'd be really upset. So a person's trying to get help, and then the family's upset because they're trying to get help. Would they feel that way if the person's trying to get an infection better, trying to treat their diabetes? I mean, why was there anything else that the person would not have treated the family would be against? No, nothing. So it's kind of it's difficult unfortunate for some people. They get stuck and they can't get out of it, and they just completely write it off. Say, I'm not going to go that route. I'm not going to take medication. So that's unfortunate, but yeah, there's a lot. I mean, the medications are addictive. They're not. We got to separate mood stabilizers and antidepressants from like maybe benzos like Xanax. Okay, well, there's some addictive potentials, of course, with benzos. We have to kind of keep that controlled. The psychotropic medications are not addictive. They just balance chemistry. And if chemistry is off balance, they work. If they're not off balance, they don't work. That's how we know. And that's how we figure it out. And so Yeah, so there's so many, there's the weakness, there's the medications are a crutch, you're just not trying hard enough. So here's a person already feeling bad, and now you're going to, load them up and just say, oh, make them feel worse now, like, oh, it's your fault you're feeling bad, it's just you just need to do this, or, and then person already bad, now they feel worse. I think, yeah, why can't I just do that? How come I just don't feel up to it? How come I feel so sad and I don't know why? And so, so hopefully, you can kind of discount all the negativity, get the help you need. Come and see me, talk to me if you want. I'd love to talk to you about it and help you. But yeah, it's unfortunate that a lot of times family and friends hold people back. And so these are some of the different misconceptions out there. It's not real science. There's always there's always like the Scientologists out there who are extremely anti-mental health, and they think everything there's no such thing as neurochemical imbalances, and it's all, if you just read Dianetics, everything's gonna be fine, and, and just join their church, and, that'll help your mental health. So there's a lot of that. But not just them. There's other religions too that also, feel similar. That it's just, if you're, God should heal you. And I believe in God. I'm a Christian, but I'm also a scientist, and I believe in science. And I believe the body was created in a way. And we've figured out a lot over the years, especially in mental health. Over the last 20, 30 years, there have been dramatic improvements. Just medication improvements have been dramatic, and they get better and better. The newer ones that are coming out, they just get better and better with less side effects, better results. Because there's always the balancing of side effects that we have to watch for that we don't want. So anyway, that's some of the. Another myth is that about side effects, and about, no, side effects are not something I put up with. If they're short term and they get over it, great, that's fine. If it's something significant, either I've lowered the dose, I stop it and try something else and go a different direction. It's absolutely real. A misconception is that we should only do counseling and exercise. Okay, well, exercise is great. Counseling when needed is good, really good. But all the studies show that counseling plus medications is better than either alone. But that's the basics of it. There's other things I'm sure I'm missing, but the basis is that, yes, it's real science. Neuroscience is real. Lots of studies. For medications like this to come out, do you know how much time and work has gone into studying this subject to come up with these medications? And we know what medications do, and so if they work, that means that the imbalances that I thought they actually did have, and that this is fixing it. So, and a lot of people don't like that. They say, I don't want you to have that trial and error. I want you to know exactly. Like with blood pressure, or thyroid, exactly how to increase the dose to lower the TSH and okay, well that's fine. I used to do that a lot, but that's very cut and dry, and then this isn't so cut and dry because we're dealing with a human being, we're dealing with emotions, and it's not as easy as just looking at a lab panel and finding out what's going on. So hopefully that helps.